Hello, and welcome back to the channel. I'm the Sunny Machine, and today I want to talk to you about these things. This is an HDMI Matrix. As you can see, it says HDMI 2.0 Matrix. I'm going to put a link in the description to all these devices that I'm talking about. These two right here, I'll link to both of these, but they are identical. They have different shells and different housing, but as you can see, if I put them like this, they are actually exactly the same device. These are one-to-one compatible with each other. So, for the sake of this video, I'm going to just reference the Avedio Links. Avedio Links? I'm going to reference this one. So the big question is, what are these? What do they do? Why do I have three of them? It's a very interesting device. In fact, if you're a streamer or a content creator that uses consoles in your setup, anywhere, and a capture card, these things are an absolute must. Well, last week we talked about HDMI switcher, and an HDMI matrix is basically a switcher. Except, as you can see, it has 4 inputs and 2 outputs, an A and a B. So what would we use this for? Why have one of these when you could just get an HDMI switcher like we discussed last week? Well, if you have a very complex setup and a lot of consoles and a lot of devices, you may want both. I have multiple switches hooked up to multiple matrices in my setup. The reason I would do that is because I like to send the video and the audio signals of my setup in all kinds of directions. I like to send things to multiple monitors and televisions in my setup. I like to send the audio to my receiver and to my capture card and to my soundboard. These devices allow me to route the digital video signals and analog extractions of those to my soundboard or even things like external capture devices or audio decks. So let's talk about what these aren't, first of all. These are not HDMI 2.1. So if you have an Xbox Series X, Series S, or PlayStation 5, or any future generation consoles that require HDMI 2.1, you want variable refresh rate, you want 4K 120, all that cool stuff, you're not going to get it with these devices. These are for everything previous to those generations. The really great thing about these devices is that it's an HDMI splitter and it's a switcher. You can also send different inputs to different outputs. So what that means is you could actually send, if you have a console plugged into one and a camera plugged into the other, you could send your camera to one output and your console to the other. Or you can send your console to one output and the other output at the same time, effectively splitting the signal to 2 HDMI outputs. But it also will let you route whatever inputs you plugged into this to either output, which is very handy. So let's say you have some older generation consoles, especially the Sony consoles. These are the most notoriously difficult to capture for streaming. The HDMI signal out of the PS3 and the PS4 and the PS5 are troublesome at best. They have HDCP enabled, so they don't work on capture cards natively. And if your capture card can accept a surround sound signal, the PlayStation is going to automatically default to a signal that will not be compatible with your stream. If the Sony console decides it wants to output 7.1 audio, because somewhere in your setup it sees 7.1 as its main audio source, now your stream is only going to hear 2 channels of all 7 channels, 7.1 channels, that should be in the mix. This can also be an issue with the Nintendo Switch. If you have the Nintendo Switch set to surround sound, your capture card isn't going to get center channel audio. You'll notice if you play something like Breath of the Wild, all the cutscene audio, the dialogue, will not come through to the stream. And the reason is the dialogue is all being sent to the center channel, and the stream only hears the left and the right channel. You need to set the switch to stereo. You need to force it to stereo so your capture card can receive all of the entire mix from the game audio. This will effectively take that center channel audio and then put it in the left and right channels properly for the stream. You can't do that with the PlayStation 4 or the PlayStation 5. If the PlayStation 4 is convinced that you've got 7.1 audio, it's going to try and output 7.1 audio. or 5.1, and you're going to have a tough time. I've had streamers who were live, they're trying to play a game on their Sony console, and the audio is just, there's no dialogue. There's none of the talking is coming through from the game, and it's because it's all being sent to the center channel. So one of the features of this HDMI Matrix that I like best is that it has audio extraction. There's 2 headphone jacks on the front of this device that will allow you to extract the audio. Now that's only part of the solution, because if you're still sending 7.1 audio or 5.1 audio surround sound to this device, you're still going to end up with only the left and right audio coming out of the headphone jack. You still need to tell your PlayStation that it should be in 2-channel. You can actually manually do this on the PS3. You can go into the audio settings on the PS3, you can set it to manual, and you can uncheck all the extra surround sound options and only leave the 2-channel audio stuff selected. One of the nice things about this device is it has EDID emulation. What that means is it has these little dip switches on the front and a menu on the back that will let you tell your device what kind of signal it should be sending. So you can force it to any of these modes in this list. You can force it to just copy whatever is coming from the TV, or TV in this circumstances, your capture card. Whatever is plugged directly into this is considered the copy, the TV copy. That's if you have all these dip switches up. But you've got all these other modes. You can do, hey, I'm a 1080p device with 2-channel audio. That would be perfect for the PlayStation 3 or PlayStation 4. If you've only got a 1080p capture card and you only want to send a 1080p signal, then you'd set the dip switches on the back to match the list. You can go all the way up to 4K 60, 2-channel, and 5.1, 7.1 audio. You can force those things so that the console that's being plugged into it sends only that signal. So you can cap out the PlayStation and the PlayStation 5, the PlayStation 4, and the PlayStation 3 to see only 2-channel audio. Unless, like certain games, for instance, we'll take the Uncharted collection, you can go in and there is actually an option in the audio settings to change to 7.1 and 5.1 and 2-channel audio. Let's take a moment and listen to the audio when I set it to 7.1. Now let's listen to 2-channel audio.
Hello. Well, so much for foreplay.
You mind telling me what the hell is going on?
You mean with Flynn?
Yeah, you might have warned me.
And missed the look on your face? Anyway, you haven't exactly made yourself easy to find.
When it's on 2-channel audio, you can hear the dialogue clearly. The mix is so much better. It's exactly what you would expect when listening to a stereo stream or YouTube video. It will strip the HDCP from the signal so that you can just send your PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, and PlayStation 5 console directly to the capture card. That's a nice feature. This is great if you have a soundboard or a Go XLR. You can pull the stereo audio out of here and feed it into one of the line ins or a channel on your soundboard or your Go XLR's analog input. You could even use the digital out of this to go into the digital input on the Go XLR. And that will give you your mix from your consoles. That means any game console you plug into this automatically will be sent to that channel on your soundboard or on your Go XLR, or if you have one of these really cheap HDMI 2.0 capture cards, these do not get stereo audio. That's one of the big weaknesses of them. I know you can use them. They're $20. They're great. If you combine these two things, now you can send the audio from the headphone jack out of here into the line in on your computer. And that will allow you to get the audio from your console back into stereo, back into OBS, and you can monitor it through OBS, and you're good to go. This capture card for $20 is insanely good. I will also link this in the description, but we'll do an entire video on this in the future. I have videos that I've done on this in the past showing comparisons between different capture cards and different settings. For the money, this thing is actually fantastic, but the audio sucks. So this is perfect for a camera if you don't need audio, or you can combine it with this guy and grab the audio out of here. All right, so now let's talk about the EZCOO. EZC Infinity. I don't know how to say it. Why do I have this? This is a much more expensive matrix. Between the two of these, this one is up there. So what does this provide that doesn't? They both will do Dolby Vision. They will both do Dolby Vision. So let's say you have an Xbox Series X or Series S, or another device that has Dolby Vision. This device will not register as being compatible with Dolby Vision. It might tell you something like an older version of Dolby Vision is compatible. You can actually get that message with this as well if you flip the dip switches down. But left alone in its general settings, just all on its own, this will give you full Dolby Vision compatibility. And this is great for the Xbox Series X. I use this to get Dolby Vision out of my Xbox Series X, and it will actually do 1440p 120 Hz. Both of these will. This does not automatically strip out HDCP unless you flip one of the dip switches, the first one here. It's called test mode on the back. A lot of these devices, HDMI devices, will say test mode. That usually means is to remove the HDCP. This one does have an optical audio out, which again, I don't use. I don't use this at all. You could get another device to convert the optical audio to an analog audio source if you want to just use this. But you're going to have more trouble getting that to work, especially with the Sony PlayStation, the PlayStation 3, the PlayStation 4. Using this to try and force two-channel audio is not a great idea. It does work, and you can do it, but you're almost better off not doing it with this guy. So the last device that I want to share with you in this video is actually a simple audio extractor. These also have a switch on them that can allow you to force two-channel audio. What you do is you plug this in between your console and your capture card, and you can actually use the analog outputs to go to Go XLR or mixer, same exact thing, and you can force it to two-channel audio. So that's it. If you guys have any questions or comments, please leave them below. If you are interested in buying one of these, there'll be affiliate links in the description. And don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one.